There are two very important areas for when you are growing your beard that you need to shave. The first one is your cheek line, the second one is your neckline, but do not do them too early. You need to sort of look at the point of maximum growth, and to determine that, it can take like up to 12 weeks of just letting it grow, and then you trim it back to the area where it's the most dense. That will kind of give the maximum contrast between your skin and the beard, which is exactly what you want for kind of increasing the look of its kind of density and thickness. In this video, we're going to go through the tips and tricks for the cheek line and the neckline, and some of them may surprise you. This video is based on an article on beardgrowingpro.com, so go check it out because there are diagrams, there are the steps that you need to do and go through for your cheek line and neckline. I've explained everything there, so go check it out. Link is in the description. Cheek line tricks. Now, when you're first growing out a beard, you need to just let it go. Let it do whatever it wants, because like I said in the intro, you need to find the point of maximum density. Now, I trim up my beard every sort of 3 or 4 days. By trim up, I mean shave in the lines along the cheek. I still do the neckline occasionally. We'll talk about why in a moment. But it's all about finding the maximum contrast between your skin and the beard. And the shape is very important as well. Each individual person has their own individual shape. And what you're looking for is a sweep down here from your outside of your sideburn to your lips, and where it connects with your mustache. Some people's are lower, some people's are higher, and I just wrote an article on Beard Growing Pro about the Kratos beard, and his is like a character on a video game, so his is unnaturally high, but some people do have a very high cheek line, or a little bit of a gap, or a little bit of a growth that goes up here. So work with your beard and make sure that the line that you're cutting in is nice and kind of let's say symmetrical on both sides, but also it's got a nice kind of sweep or a nice line to it. And don't be scared of going lower in order to increase the contrast between the skin and the beard, because that's where it'll kind of give your beard the biggest boost by removing stuff. Yes. Another thing about the cheek line is that when you are shaving it, I do not ever go up against the grain, because here is a very prominent part of your face, and if you go against the grain when you're shaving, it can easily cause ingrowns, it can cause redness and razor bumps, all of these things. So what I do is I kind of feel for the direction of the growth, and then I go with that growth. And I'm using my single blade safety razor. At the end of this video, I'll show you exactly what I use for making sure my shave is reproducible and comfortable every single time. And so I shave with the hairs and then I go across them, never up against them. So here my hair grows down, so I go down and then I just go across, 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 never up. And this means that my beard is free of kind of that awkward redness, that irritation that occurs after shaving. So if you find that you're particularly susceptible to getting razor bumps, with and across, never against. Trimming up your neckline is also very important when you are growing a beard, but do not fall into the traps that other people fall into, like trimming your neckline too high. Trimming your neckline too high up under the jaw makes your beard look really, really thin and not substantial. So learning exactly where your beard line should end up is very important, especially for short beards, because not only is the cheek line on show, but the neckline is on show with short beards as well. But also, if you've got a long beard like mine, I still trim up under my neck occasionally, and I'll talk about why in a moment. But essentially, the way you find where your neckline should be, I've got two approaches that I talk about in the article as well with diagrams. First way is you push your chin next to your chest and you push your finger up into the crease as far as it will go, and that is where your head connects to your neck, and that is exactly where your neckline should sweep down from behind your ears to that point. Nice and even, nice and symmetrical, a nice sweep. Another way is to grab two fingers, put it above your Adam's apple, and where the top line of your finger sits, that is also a good place to put your neckline. Not too high, not too low, but also once again, shaving against the grain can induce a lot of redness and soreness underneath the neck, so just be very careful with that. Now, even with longer beards, so in one of my other videos where I've got how to shave your neckline at home, go check it out here, and I'll put the link in the description as well. But people said your beard's far too long to shave the neckline, and I completely disagree with them. And the reason I shave my neckline is because here I've got a big bushy beard. I've got another video on how to train your beard to grow down. And part of it is to get rid of the bulk under the neck. Now, I've learned just to remove just enough, just to make it sure that my beard falls down and doesn't puff up. One thing I find that if I do not sort of regularly maintain my neckline just by shaving away a little bit of the bulk, is that it pushes out very easily, and it started on the side, it looks like it's coming out more than down. I want my beard to come down, have a natural taper, and by shaving my neckline, I can reduce some of the bulk without making it look thin from the front. I've tried sort of trimming in the downness by just kind of like removing anything that splays out, and it just ends up looking thin and wispy on the ends. And so yes, removing some from in behind doesn't affect how dense it looks in the front. So there's a little trick. So necklines are very important, particularly if you've got a short beard because they're on display, but long beards, just give it a little bit of a trim and see if you can get your beard to sort of lay flatter. If that's what you want to do. It's what I wanted to do and it works for me. All right, now let's have a look at all of the tools that I use and why I use them. Shaving your beard while it's growing is very important, but you just need to invest in the right tools. Single blade safety razor. Get away from the cartridge shavers. Honestly, this thing has been something I absolutely love. It's got a twist. Oh, there we are, it's open. Blade sits in there, super low waste, super kind of accurate because you're always working with just one blade. There's a little bit of a learning curve, especially in sort of like the neck area where there's lots of changes of angles and your Adam's apple sticks out, and that can be easy to nick. But you know, using this lightly, don't hack away at your face. Using it lightly, learning how to use it, let the weight of the blade kind of you know, do most of the work. It's really easy, and with a single blade safety razor, it's about going over the same area multiple times softly, instead of just relying on that one kind of like hack like you do with a cartridge razor. So yes, single blade safety razor. This is an antique one that one of my friends gave to me ages ago. I absolutely love it. Another really important thing that I didn't realize early on is that changing the blades can make a huge difference. Now, I have trialed probably, I don't know, 50 different brands. A few companies sell these kind of tester packs, and I highly recommend you buy one because not all razor blades are the same. And I found that the Gillette 7 O'Clock Super Platinum, look at that name, works for me. But another one may work well for you. So try a load of them. Why not? It's fun. Using a good lather is important, and I've got a just really cheap Omega brush. It's like not proper boar's hair or anything. It's all synthetic, but this has been with me for years, and there's no point of upgrading it because I only put a little bit on my cheeks, a little bit on my neckline every now and again. So those and a good lather. I prefer using like a toothpaste. I've made that mistake a couple of times, but a toothpaste tube of lathering shaving cream, put it in hot water, and very sort of like important tip is hot water. Just hold a hot flannel or a towel if you're not shaving directly after a shower, just against the hair, just for like a minute. And that's so important because water actually makes hair incredibly kind of not brittle, but much easier to break. And that's because the water molecules absorb into the hair, get in between the keratin, protein molecules, and just weaken those bonds, which means when you come to shave, it's just easier. You need to use less force, you need to go over it less amount of times. So if you do find that there's a lot of irritation going on, hot water is an absolute must. In the same way that when you've got a beard, hot water is kind of like kryptonite to it. You just have to be very careful while it's wet and warm, but you can use that to your advantage when you're removing hairs on your cheek line and your neckline. Give it a go. So there we have it. That's exactly where you need to shave. If you are growing a beard, let me know in the comments what you would add to that, and I shall see you in the next video. Remember to give me a thumbs up if this was helpful.